Here it is. What was that? No blues riff?
Yeah, just an old blues riff.
Is that one of your tunes?
Absolutely.
Cool.
I made that tune.
You made that? Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. This is Johnny Bean. It is 5:14 p.m. here in California. Sunny California. It's finally sunny here.
Not rainy.
No, not today anyway. 8:14 East Coast time. And welcome, everybody. We're live. We're going to talk about Wolfgang guitars. Well, just EVH guitars in general. We love them. Love to discuss them, talk about them, play them. And we got the chat box going here. Hey, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Who's with us?
Talk about Wolfgang guitars?
I don't know how that happened.
Come on.
I already shut it off.
There we go. Wow, 25 people. Who's in here? We got Dave Nesdahl. Hey, man.
Hey, all.
Hey, man. Hey, we got Ron Johnson.
What's happening, everybody?
Hey, dude.
What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, and we got Pete.
What's
Peter.
happening? Going?
What's up, man?
Good to see you, Pete.
Yeah, I heard you you had some adventures last week or
A
something.
little bit. Yeah, it was fun, man. Good time.
Cool. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Hey, everybody. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Rick. Hey, Sean. EVH History is back. Wow. Tat Girl. Diamond Dave Lucy is in the house. There's too many people here. Cat Dumpling. Michael Smith. Everybody. Hello. Stefan. Hey, Stefan. Thanks again for the Instagram photo today. Very cool. Very cool. All right, everybody. Yes. So, what's new? Dave, what's new with you, man?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. How about you, John?
I put the old Frankie neck back on my Frankenstein today. That's about it. The Strat style neck.
Cool.
Just to do something different.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Oh, it's been insane out here, man. If you guys follow this channel, if you follow me anywhere, you'll know that it's been just the rain, the storming, the power outages, the water. You know, we were without water for half the day today. Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, finally back to normal, huh?
Sort of, almost, not really, not totally, but hopefully soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. What's new with you, Ron? Is it Ron?
No, it's Ron.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I can't even remember. I was officially fired, but they hired me back finally. So I can't. No, it's been good. It's been busy couple of weeks. We've had President's Day on one day, and I was at a dinner at work, and been crazy. When I was up in Maine this last weekend, took my girlfriend up to Maine, and we just went up and got away a little bit and kind of reset a little bit. And watching Pete's videos from his trip has been awesome, and just seeing all you guys. Finished up a new guitar, well, it's not a new guitar, it's an old guitar, but a new 5150, which I'm really, 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 really happy with how it came out, and really happy with that. And so I've been playing with that, and kind of got back in the mode of doing some work, did some work to my Hot for Teacher, did some work to my 84, couple little odds and ends here, and a couple little projects in the works that I'm going to do to some of my guitars. But last week I was on Eric and Mark's show, did a showcase of my guitars, and they wanted to see some of my guitars. So it was kind of fun doing that, and just seeing all you guys again. Can't wait to hear about Pete's trip, and it looks like you had a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, man, it's pretty surreal. Pretty surreal experience. It want to get into it now? We can get into it now.
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
How long are you gonna be? Come on, we're on a tight schedule here. No. Let's wait a little bit. Let's wait a little bit. Let's let people just
Let's wait long enough so that we won't have enough time to talk about it later.
Cinder says, Ron, that guitar does look old. You should send it to me. Yeah, it is. It does look old. It's pretty nasty. It's even got all this black stuff underneath the strings. You know, just I don't know, man. It does look really old. But
wouldn't that be like pick dust?
It's like pick dust or whatever. What I actually used when I did that is I actually used some graphite. I took some graphite with some warm water and put it in my hands, and then I just kind of rubbed it in, let it sit there, and then I wiped it off, and it made that kind of a dark fog. And I did the same thing to the neck to kind of darken the neck up a little bit, make it look a little blackened up, and I kind of re-reliced the headstock and, you know, made it look kind of nasty to match the body. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to redo this guitar for a long time because there were some things about it that I wasn't. And just a couple little things I didn't like, and it was just too difficult to change them. So gave it the whole facelift, and yeah, came out cool. Really happy with it.
So Rob, that was sanded down and done over from scratch?
Sanded down. I sanded it down and basically redid the whole thing from scratch, and yeah, and it was, you know, came out great. Very happy with it.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Plays great. I'm gonna go out and see Dave in a couple of weeks again, and I'm gonna bring it with me. I want Dave to check it out, see what he thinks, and I'm gonna give Dave. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna give Dave the let Dave set it up because Dave does a great job setting them up. A couple little tweaks I think he'll want to pick with it, but
Awesome.
yeah, really came out great. Really happy with the overspray and stuff and whatever. But yeah, so it's kind of like a new 5150 for me, even though it's an old guitar, you know. But
that's cool.
It looks awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I remember guitars that I would play. I mean, I never painted them, you know, like that. But let's say I would paint like my main guitar like green, you know. Just yeah. I had this. Actually, it was a Kramer Focus. I had a Warmoth neck on there. This was one of my main guitars back, in the mid '90s, I would say. And I remember I would just spray paint it just different colors. You know, it'd be green. I would go and get like car paint, you know, just spray it, you know, some metallic green color for a while, and then, you know, after that, paint it, spray it black, you know.
Yeah,
that guitar was so many different colors. And it's almost like it's a new guitar, even though it's not, you know? Yeah. So that's kind of a cool way to change stuff up, is just to repaint your guitar every now and then, you know? Yeah,
actually it is. One of the other things I did is I reliced my '84 Kramer last night. It was a little bit too clean, and I re-reliced it a little bit. So that was another little project I did yesterday. But yeah, you're right, Johnny. When you take a guitar that you already have and you repaint it, or you do something to it, it makes it like a whole new piece, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like,
or just change the parts.
Yeah,
you know, putting a you know, changing the pickups, changing I don't know, even just changing the volume knob is exciting.
How's your Wolfgang project coming along?
Mine?
Yeah, is it making some headway or?
I think so. Hopefully I'll have a EVH Wolfgang to play pretty soon, just out of parts. You know, a neck here, a body there, a pickup. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to play it at the gig in Oakland on Sunday. Maybe.
Cool. Oh, that'd be awesome to see.
We'll
nice.
See. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
How about you, Mr. Nesbitt?
Anyway,
I got this back from Dave last week. I haven't really stretched the legs yet because I pretty much got the guitar back from Dave. You see this yet, Rob?
Beautiful. No, I knew you had it, but I was waiting to see it. Nice. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, just, you know, Dave helped me, did a nice setup on it. You know, I hooked me up. You know, I put a lot of a few FU tone upgrades into it. I plugged it in. It sounded amazing, but I really didn't get a chance to really test her out. But when I did play it for a little while, this guitar plays very nice. I love the neck.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's I'm probably gonna. I just don't like on the specials how the toggle switch is reversed from the Americans. That drives me nuts.
I don't understand that. I don't know why they did that. It makes Johnny, you had some information on that, didn't you? Wouldn't you say it was like it was like a oversight or something, and then they corrected it, or on the toggle switches?
So somebody had told me that that it might have been a mistake or something at one point, but I don't think that's the case. I think that's just how they make them.
Yeah.
I think it's only the American ones that are reversed, or the way they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In the beginning, they were a mistake, but now they're saying everything that's not American will be like a Gibson Les Paul, where the bridge is down.
It's fun. I'm so used to it the other way. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know, because I actually hit the switch when I'm tapping. I actually hit it.
Yeah, you got to go.
Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I find the same. You kind of got to go over above it. You get used to it.
Right. Right.
But on the other, the
stop tapping so much, you guys. Come on. Stop copying Eddie. That's his thing.
Yeah,
I know. The switch in the other special to go like the Americans. So I'm actually going to take this to my guy doing some electrical work to my other guitars and have them do. It's too confusing. Flick the switch.
Flip the switch. That's right.
That's so funny. You guys are saying that, man. I used to help out. There's this friend of mine. His name's Phil Hendry. He was a radio talk show host for decades, and he's like a voiceover actor. He's been in movies. He's been on King of the Hill, like all these different things, And I used to help. He would do a nightly show like this, but on his own website. And I used to help him. He used to have to mute the audio during commercials, and I used to have my job. One of my jobs, helping him out was to remind him to flip the switch after every commercial.
Right.
So the video cast would go back live so people could hear it. John, you know who Phil Hendry is? Yeah. Well, I've been a huge fan of his for years. We ended up becoming really good friends, and I see him every time I go down to the Santa Barbara area. We hang out, have dinner. Anyway, but that was the thing. Flip the switch. That was this is going back 5 years or something too. John in the chat room is saying he knows who Phil Hendry is. Awesome, man. Phil Hendry's great, man. If you guys don't know who he is, go check out philhendryshow.com. Definitely. Anyway.
Hey Johnny, if people are saying they can't hear me, is that
you can get a microphone.
You're a little low. What?
Yeah, I'm right.
What are you on your iPad?
Going through my phone.
Your phone?
But I'm right.
What do you got? An otter case?
No.
You got a waterproof case? Because it sounds like you're kind of muffled.
Yeah, no. There's only accessibility to a microphone on this thing. That's
nice ceiling. Yeah, looks like sandpaper.
Nice.
Yeah. People are saying they can hear you. They can hear you. Although, yeah, your volume is a little low.
I'll talk louder.
Just put it up to your phone. We'll just look at your ear.
Yeah. You guys would be happy to see that I finally got some different headphones.
Is that what those are?
They're wireless. They're wireless Beats. Yeah, they're actually pretty cool. I like. It's nice. I can get up and I can walk around, and it's cool. Pick up different guitars, and it's cool.
Just make sure you mute yourself when you walk into the bathroom, okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
That's the danger with wireless earphones with the microphone, you know. Right?
Dr. Dre Rob. Dre.
What's that?
You're Dr. Dre now with your beats.
Yeah, Dr. Dre. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from those headphones. I love the Beats. I had a big red pair that you guys had seen me back wearing last year, but for some reason they just stopped working one day. They just died. I don't know why. They wouldn't. And those weren't rechargeable either. But I got a pair of Sony headphones too that I really liked a lot. But these ones are actually pretty cool. They're real small. You know, they're great for working out because I don't have to. Like when I'm in the gym or whatever, you know, I don't have to hold my phone the whole time. I can set it over on the corner, and as long as I'm within like a, you know, 20-yard radius or 30-yard radius, it you know, the Bluetooth works. So it's pretty cool. But
so wait, so you have wireless headphones, but they're not rechargeable?
no, these are rechargeable wireless headphones.
The
last ones I had were corded. They had a cable coming out, but they wouldn't, for some reason, they just stopped working, and I don't know why. They just died one day. They wouldn't. I changed the cable, and it didn't matter what I did to them. They just wouldn't work. It's kind of too bad because they were expensive headphones too.
Mm-hmm.
Howie.
Oh yeah, hey Howards.
How did Howie fare through the storm?
Well, he doesn't like it when the power goes out.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like it when the smoke detector goes off.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, he had a great time. It was normal. You know, it was I think it was more fun for him because, you know, I started to stink.
Yeah.
You know, having no power, no water for days.
Yeah.
I think
How long was it, Johnny?
He's more comfortable with me now.
How long was it? How long was it total?
What the
outage?
Outages?
No water? Yeah.
We lost power for 24 hours, and then we got power again for a day, and then we lost it for 18 hours.
Man.
So just wait. Actually, it's actually really nice out today, but just wait. You know, if I just like disappear, you guys will know that I'm gone because the power's out, and you guys have 5 minutes for Pete to tell his story, and then it's over. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? I mean, it's Wolfgang Wednesday. We just saw your Wolfgang Pete. I mean, that's awesome. I got to play. I was lucky enough to play one of those at NAMM just last month, exactly a month ago. And yeah, that's an amazing guitar, man.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Slowly but surely. I'm filling up the rack with all EVH stuff.
There you go. How many do you have? How many EVH guitars, like Wolfgangs, and do you have any Stripe series?
Yeah, I have the Bumblebee Stripe. I just got the obviously the Bumblebee Bolt. I have.
Oh wait, look this way. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have red, white, black stripe special. Obviously the Ivory. I got the Black Stealth, the Natural, and my Amber.
Wow. Nice.
I got more.
Very cool.
I'm putting together a sustainer build. I think I showed you that, Johnny, when I got down the pike. And eventually I'll finally have a 5150. Well,
cool.
And that should complete. That gives me about 11 Van Halen guitars.
Of course, that Islander 5150 style guitar you got is super cool too, though. You know?
Yeah, that's fun, man.
Yeah.
The Switchcraft, the switch went bad on it already. I had to have that changed out last week.
Nice. That's cool.
That guitar screams. There's nothing wrong with that guitar. It's strange having a bunch of guitars. I don't know what to pick up anymore.
I know.
It's a good problem. You guys can relate. Come on.
Oh yeah. I never know which one I'm going to pick up. This is my 84. I actually did I was talking about this a couple minutes ago. Did a little bit of relicking on it. You probably can't see, but I just, cut a couple little nicks and dings here and there. Just, just to kind of chew it up just a little bit, make it look more kind of 86-ish era. I threw a speed knob on it finally. And came out cool on the back, just kind of roughed it up just a little bit. It looked a little bit too new, But cool. Didn't really do too much to the headstock. I kept the headstock kind of the same. But yeah, I don't know. I threw some duct tape on, threw a few VH picks, that I had laying around on, just to kind of make it look the part. So yeah, it's cool. Got to lower the action on just a little bit. The action just a little bit too high, but other than that, it's not bad.
Cool. Frank C wants to see your stealth guitar, Pete.
Oh yeah.
Stealth guitar. Is that the one that you guys traded?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is such a cool guitar.
I'll try to see.
I wish I had that one.
They're actually making those now, man.
Yeah.
with the kill switch in them now. They come stock now.
Yep.
It's funny, Dave. I never realized that it has the number 1 on the headstock.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, no, this is nice. I think I'm getting good views of it, right?
I don't mess around.
Dave's got accurate stuff, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. And there's the stealth.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Dave, that's a 2011. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
This guitar is insane.
Yeah, I played that guitar before. It is, Pete. You're right.
I mean, just the neck. It's I rival it with the Ivory, without a doubt. This just a little bit darker. I think it has to do with the paint on the bottom.
I think it has to do with the.
Yeah. Also, Rob, it's hard to hear Pete when you play your guitar.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Okay.
We're already fighting. We're already battling.
We're already fighting the volume issue.
The muffleness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice background music though.
It's hard to hear Pete when you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta turn around. Ask me to grab stuff. I keep talking. My bad.
Oh man. Yeah, those are solid guitars though, man. The USA Wolfgangs.
Eric says the dynamic
Awesome.
from Pete whispering and Rob shouting. I can't properly set the audio.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, make sure when you guys, play this through your stereo, make sure you, turn on your boosters or whatever.
When you turn on your stereo, does it return the favor? Yeah.
What song is that?
Trouble with Never.
Yeah.
You nerds. Hey, I heard it.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Can you say that?
What? I hear a train?
No.
Calling you guys nerds?
I can't wait to get my rig back.
Okay. Is this part of your story now? Is your rig still at SIR Studios in LA?
No, they had nowhere near the equipment that even rivaled anything I have in my house.
All right. I think we're ready. You guys, let us know. Give us a thumbs up right now if you want to hear Pete's story about being a rock star for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lose the thumbs down, will you? 52 people watching.
Pete, I'll give you some background music so nobody can hear you talk.
Sounds great.
Oh man. Oh, but Pete, if you're going to be the one telling the story, we got to make sure we get your volume going. I think I'm
good.
Do you have earbuds? Do you have earbuds with the mic?
No, I don't have those anywhere near where I could get them. They're in my car. That'll take me too long to go get. Am I really that old? Oh,
yeah, it's.
That's strange. I don't know why you guys aren't picking me up. Is it any better now?
It's the same. It's.
I can hear you. I can hear you. It's just a little low for some reason.
For some reason.
I have no idea why. I don't know on my phone why it's not picking up the volume. Hold on.
What was that?
Dave, is that you again?
Everybody is saying they can hear. Everybody wants your story. Everybody wants your adventure in LA.
But they can't hear me.
Can you talk loud?
Yeah, I can talk loud. I can scream the story if you want.
Is that?
That's better. Can everyone hear me?
No.
No. Oh yeah. Do you have an air horn? What is your volume all the way up on your phone?
My volume's all the way up. I don't. Hold on.
So wait, what are you looking at though? If your phone's here, what are you? You're looking at another device. It looks like.
No, that's where his camera is, because his phone is sideways.
My phone's sideways, so my camera is right.
Oh, so your
there.
microphone's farther away from your face then. Turn your your phone like upwards.
Yeah, what if I do this?
My,
Is that better?
I think more people need to give us thumbs down so we can get this act together.
Say something, Pete. Say something.
Yeah, no, I'm right. No, I can see the little audio bar.
Oh, that's worse. It's worse. Oh no.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see.
I just see a hand.
We did rehearse this, by the way. We did rehearse.
First day with our new technology.
This is the rehearsal. What do you mean?
This is the dress.
This is the dress rehearsal. We're doing the actual show later.
I have no cover on my phone right now, and it's still not picking me up well, and I don't know why. Because I could. I don't know. Maybe I just have a bad.
Well,
It was worth
well, what about? Do you want to just do audio? Can you look? What am I trying to say? Look at your phone and can you turn your camera off?
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
I mean, most people that watch this, they actually just listen. They don't have it.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now hold the phone up like you're doing a regular phone call.
Does it sound better now or not?
Oh, there you go. Yes. Can we do it this way, please?
Absolutely.
Oh wait,
We lost you again.
Is it better?
No, it's not.
It should be.
It's better. Just say it's better.
It's better.
Okay, at least this way we can see your cool avatar.
Actually, Pete, yeah, I'm using the iPhone 6. I don't know why. I'm having a problem with this.
It's like you have a blanket over your mouth.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Hold on, maybe this will do it. I'll at least get out of the my iPad. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting interference or something. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did you just do?
I shut off my iPad. Maybe that was the interference.
no.
I don't know.
Actually, D Bottom 25 is saying, does your story have to do with you breaking your phone while you were in LA?
Yeah, no, it's coming through a little bit better. No.
No.
Who invited this guy? No, I'm kidding. Just joking.
All right.
That's all right, dude. Don't worry
You know
about it.
what? If we all just shut up, he can talk.
I don't want to scream it. Maybe I just got a bad connection. You guys always pick up my audio well. I don't know why it's not picking me up good, unless I just don't have a good connection through the app. There's no other reason why.
I don't know.
That's better. That's
every
better.
so often it gets nice and loud, and then
Let's just mute. Yeah, Rob is muted. Stay muted, and then I think if only Pete talks, I think it'll bring his level up. So I think it'll work.
Yeah, no, it's just get right away.
So Pete, oh yeah, go ahead, tell your story. This is your show now. Just remember, don't say anything you wouldn't want to say on here.
No.
Okay.
Can you guys hear
And
me
stop
a little
saying
bit?
no.
Not good.
I'm just kidding. All right, this is Pete's show. Okay, Pete, what was your story? What was your what'd you do? Rob, no.
I thought I was muted. Didn't matter.
Yeah, you're not muted now.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you guys said I was muted, so
You were, and then you unmuted.
No, I didn't do anything.
I think. Oh,
Dave
Dave,
Nesdal's been muted.
I muted myself.
I just need to kick everybody out of here. I think. Hang on.
You said I was muted. Nobody said I wasn't.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. What's your story? What happened, man? Oh,
Listen,
I see. I see what it is. Hang on. You can only mute one person at a time. Right?
yeah, I
Rob.
don't.
Oh no, okay, they're both muted. I just muted everybody. Okay. Pete, go.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I had a great time. I never been to LA, and I went out there for rock camp, and it was
What is that? What is Rock Camp?
yeah, it's rock and roll fantasy camp. You could sign. They do like I don't know, 3 or 4 a year, and they get different headlining artists. The draw. In this camp I went to, it happened to be the guys from Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell and Mike Inez, and the DeLeo brothers from Stone Temple Pilots, Dean and Robert DeLeo.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is you get a bunch of people that sign up, and this was their the biggest camp they ever had. It was 80 people signed up for it.
Wow.
Like fan packages and like beginner packages, and basically it washed out that there were 15 bands at camp, and each band gets a rock star counselor. So they had 15. I don't want to call them B-rated people, but to name a few, like they had Peter Klett from like Candlebox, and Nick Cantonese. He's the guitar player of Black Label Society, or used to be, that Zach Wilde's band. Vinny Appice, obviously from Last in Line and the Dio days. This bass player, Ashley, she's the bass player of a band called Filter. They had 3 of the guys from Buck Cherry were counselors. Josh Todd was one of them. He was pretty cool. Tony Franklin, I don't know if you know of the Fretless Monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
He played, with the Firm. He actually played with Page, big session guy.
Nice.
Kenny Olson, he was one of the counselors. He was pretty cool. He's Kid Rock's guitars. I don't know what else he does, but he does some session work too. It was pretty wild. Basically I get out there, we were all staying at, one hotel. They had rehearsal studios about 4 miles from the hotel. I guess you could call it North Hollywood. And it was a pretty big space. You had like, when you walked through the front door, to the left was like the main room with like a main stage. And, that's where we got to play with the Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilot guys. And then on the other side was, they had, a bunch of rehearsal rooms. And, basically you meet your bandmates when you get there. And, I had a guy from Calgary, Canada. He was one of my lead singers. There was another guy from California. I had 2 lead singers in my band, 3 guitarists, and we actually had a blind drummer. And that was a little difficult because, you're trying to learn, songs you want to play, and, you can't look him into the changes. It's either, he was on lockdown, or, you needed to tase him or something. And he was saying, he goes, I wish I had a taser that you can, tase me to let me know when I should stop. But, great bunch of guys. I had a guy from Montana. He was one guitarist.
I actually know somebody who was actually in a band with a blind drummer at one point.
And how did they look him into changes? I mean, it was a little challenging. But, he would practice. He would go back to the hotel and just listen to a tune over and over. And when, we would go back in for another practice session, he nailed it. He did a pretty good job. He did a very good job. I was very impressed with the musicianship of my band. And, basically you get there for the first day, and, you start hashing out the music. Vinny Appice was my counselor, and he was a pretty cool cat. And his function is to kind of just get you organized, get you sounding good, you know, trying to, you know, pick out people's strengths, what they should be doing, you know, pretty much acting like a traffic cop. I mean, you got to remember, you know, I meet these people day one. We play together for 2 days and we're gigging. You know, you know, it started on Thursday. Saturday night we played the Lucky Strike, and then
Oh, that's cool.
was the big one. We ended up playing the Whiskey, and
Wow.
you know, we didn't. Those gigs we just played as camper bands. You know, the headliners, the Alice in Chains guys, and the Stone Temple Pilot guys. They didn't come out to the venues to play. That was all, you know, just for us in the studio. You know, they had a nice stage set up that we could all play, and they were really cool. I mean, to get up there, Alice in Chains with you know, Alice in Chains, and to get up there and play with STP was just, it was a surreal experience. I mean, the DeLeo brothers were, I mean, they were having a lot of fun. You know, they almost felt like you were your bandmates, and you know, they would tell you some stories about the road, and you're seeing guitars that you've seen on tour for years, and you know, seeing their rigs up close. You know, that was the juice for me. Like, you know, seeing Cantrell's rig, and you know how he has his stuff wired up. You know, the SD. You know, Dean DeLeo has a very, you know, simple, you know, like 70s setup. You know, plays for Vox. Jerry Cantrell is all Friedman all the time. You know, his tone, Cantrell's tone was insane. I mean, his rig really just sounded brutal. You know, and he plays through that Friedman JJ, you know, that head that he's endorsed by. I mean, it's the same head you'll buy in a store. You know, that's what he's playing through. It's expensive head, but boy, I mean, that it screamed. He had a pretty serious rig. And
it must have been really inspiring,
fun.
You know, to be around, you know, those rigs, and like you were saying, to see guitars that you had seen, you know.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild, and it was kind of cool because you know, he actually had the talk box with him, and
yeah,
you know, when we actually, the songs I played, our band played Man in a Box, you know, probably one of the more popular Alice tunes, and then another song called We Die Young. But you know, that whole bam, 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 it's all with the talk box. So it was wild to see him, you know, that close, you know, play that song and what he's doing. It was, you know, how he's hitting his effects, and you know, I mean, you know, STP, they have a lot of, you know, the earlier stuff had a real heavier chorus driven type sound, and you know, he had this Boss chorus pedal that looked like it was from like 1972, you know, that like he would never get rid of it. Looked banged up, and it just worked. He must have rewired the thing, you know, God knows how many times. But when I was playing with the Leos, I was playing the Natural, and he liked it. He wanted to come over and feel the neck. I put a couple of pictures up of it, and you know, he liked the guitar. I said, "I'm like, you want to play?" He's like, "Nah, I'm okay." You know, he was playing plus.
The Natural EVHGEAR Wolfgang.
Yeah,
the USA one that you have.
That's the other one I have, and they just, both guitars sounded great. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I would say Saturday was the most grueling day because we actually played with the STP guys. You know, we had to be at the studio at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're there all day.
This does sound like a rock and roll fantasy, man, because no musician gets to the studio at 9 in the morning. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was great.
9 in the morning.
You know, you're hashing out the material that you're going to play at your gigs. You're hashing out the material you want to play with the artists. And, you know, as fun as it was, I mean, it was definitely, there was a taxing component to it. But that Saturday was the killer because I was with them since, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, had lunch. The STP guys showed up. We're playing with them all day. They shuttled us back to the hotel. We had like an hour break, and then they were picking us all up and bringing us down to Lucky Strike. And, you know, that went clear till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then, you know, Sunday morning, we just did a little tune up, went in, had some lunch. And you know, then we had a good 2-3 hours to chill before we played the whiskey. But the whiskey
did they kick anybody out of there? Were there any guys within the camp that just got too rowdy and too crazy at these gigs, and they had to let them go?
It was shockingly civil. I mean, you know, it was there were no rules. I'll just put it to you that way. So I'll just leave that to your imagination. But no one was like banged up where they had to be like escorted to the hotel and, you know, not allowed to show up at events. They actually offered a package, you know, they called it like the ultimate fan pack. Like you didn't have to play an instrument, and you could just go and just be around these people. So there was one woman that was so banged up, they flagged her at the door at the whiskey, and they dumped her in one of the green rooms upstairs for the whole show because they didn't want to be live. Fall down.
Oh my gosh! And she paid. She paid for that.
She paid for that. Yeah,
she wanted the experience, and she got it, huh?
Yeah, she was just hunched over. I felt bad.
Oh man, that's really too bad. That's.
But the whiskey was special to me because, I mean, for obvious reasons, you know, that's where, you know, VH got their big break. You know, I was actually trying to put myself, you know, in that when they did that surprise gig there, you know, and you look at the YouTube footage of Sunset, you know, Boulevard.
Yeah.
Running.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
I'm trying to put it in perspective of what that would have looked like from that front door, and it must have been crazy. You know, like right in the front door of the whiskey. When did they do that? 96, I think.
93. 93.
93.
Yeah, they played that show, and then what they did was they played one of the reasons they did that was to film a live music video for the song Dreams.
Right.
So they've actually played Dreams like twice, and then they filmed it. Although they did play a whole show. There actually is recordings of the entire show out there, you know, audio recordings. But yeah, I remember I heard about that the night before. And I remember thinking, oh, man, it'd be so awesome to go to that. And, of course, the next day, you know, and this is way before the internet, right? So the next day I hear about it was just insanity down there. And you see it within that video, the official. Actually, they released, I think, 2 different music videos for that. And one of them is mostly the band. And then one of them has more of the footage of all the fans outside and stuff. Yeah.
And, like, people running towards the building and, you know, pure. Right at the front door of the whiskey, they have like you know, a gold disket. I want to say it was like 18 inches in diameter, and it was the VH logo right there on the sidewalk by the front door. The reason why I said 96, I got to look at the picture, but it said something about 1996 on that gold emblem that's like in the sidewalk. But
that's probably when they did that. They probably did that in 96.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, they probably put that down in the cement then. But like to walk in that place and then, you know, get escorted up into the green rooms, you know, where you knew they were hanging out at some point, and, you know, the way they bring you on to the stage, and you know, all weekend long, I'm just having a blast with Doogie. The stories this man was telling me was, you know, it was wild, and it's freaky. That guy sounds exactly like Michael Anthony. I mean, they spent 38 years together. I guess they start saying.
Well, maybe that's why you never see them together. You know, maybe it's the same guy. Mike never got a tech all those years. You know, he had to put a wig on, you know, and be somebody else.
But
you know, no, I've seen them both in the same room. It is 2 different people. But Doogie. Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He doesn't just work for Mike. He works for a lot of different people. You know, I mean, obviously at this camp that you were at, he was he the bass tech there, or was he a counselor?
He was top dog. He was in charge of, you know, basically all musical operations. He had a team. You know, you got to remember they had one stage where you're playing with these artists. So you have 15 bands and, 2 to 3 guitarists of bands that have different effects. So, I mean, he had it down. It was a well-oiled machine moving people out, in, out, in, out, in. There's one guy, Alan. I didn't know his last name. He he does a lot of stage work for a lot of different guys. He's from England. He's an English guy. Towards the end of camp, I'm watching this guy run all over the place. I actually went over to him. I gave him a nice tip. I'm like, thanks for doing it for me. I've been watching you run around like a Looney Tunes, getting it done, making sure everything works, amps, plug. It was wild. And Doogie, if you wanted to tune up, you handed him your guitar, he just put his thing in, got it tuned up, but hand it back to you. He was teching everybody. He was tuning everybody. He was running around. I commend those guys. They worked really hard for 4 days. It was they definitely they're a class organization, that fantasy camp. I got more swag signed than you would ever see. Actually, Doogie gave me hold on a second.
Oh, look at that. He's wearing a whiskey t-shirt. All right. You guys can unmute yourselves if you want. You guys feel like you're in timeout? It's just we got to we just got to make sure we can hear him, Everybody wants these stories.
I'm back. So
I
was talking with Doog a little bit.
Oh, look at that.
And he gave me a Michael Anthony pick. So I thought that was pretty nice of him. He had a couple of these in his pocket, 2014s. I thought that was pretty cool. Dean DeLeo gave me his STP pick, which is pretty cool. These guys play with very heavy picks. Cantrell.
Nice. That's cool.
So got one of Cantrell's picks.
Oh, wow.
Mikey Inez, the bass player of Alice. And,
are these all Dunlops?
Yep.
These are all Dunlop makes all these guys picks, huh?
And then you ever hear this guy Chip's Enough? He played in a band, Enough's Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them, yeah.
We were just talking about them.
So Chip was one of the counselors, and he actually gave me a real treat. He gave me an Ace Frehley Space Invader.
That's cool.
Wow.
I thought was so. Yeah, I got a bunch of picks from these guys. It was there's a couple of cool things. I'll just I'll wrap it up with these couple of quick stories. So we went up and played. We were structured. Our band actually got to play 2 songs with each headliner. So we got to play 2 Alice songs. We got to play 2 STP songs. But there were some tuning issues with a couple of guitars. So between songs, there was some dead space. So, I know a lot of like deep cut Alice material. I know a lot of deep cut STP material. So at Alice and Rob, if you look at the videos that I posted, you'll see what I'm talking about. I just start playing a song called What the Hell Have I by Alice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And right behind me, you can see Inez just start to play it. Then Gary just kind of looks at me, walks right up to me and just plays the riff simultaneous with me. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I don't even have to play these 2 songs. Just did that riff with you. I'm done. And so that was pretty cool. And then the next day, same thing with the STP guys. They have a song off, I don't know, I think it's the Purple album called Still Remains. And again, there was some dead time, and I start playing the Still Remains riff, and boom, Rob DeLeo starts playing the bass line, and then Dean walks over and he starts playing it. I'm like, this is just...
It's surreal.
It was wild. I mean, the DeLeos, not to knock Alice in Chains, they were so much fun. The laughs, hugs, high fives, really complimentary of people's playing. Mike Inez, that guy never stopped smiling. He was top notch. But Jerry was a little socially awkward. I don't know if he felt comfortable in that environment. He seemed to loosen up a little bit, but he seemed to be more of a calm, cool, you know, I'm not going to say that much personality. I mean, he was nice, shook your hand, you know, but he wasn't as engaging as the other guys.
Yeah.
You know, but but still just a beast nonetheless. Both Alice's tour manager was there, and he made comments. He's like, that he really enjoyed it. In the beginning. He didn't know what to expect, and the more he met more people and seeing how everybody prepared that could play, and all the artists were beyond impressed, and myself included. There was a lot of talented people there from all over the world, and I met a lot of really cool people that I could definitely see myself, keeping in touch with for a long time. It was a pretty good experience. And then, bam, I'm on a plane and I'm home on Monday. It was like, it was a wild time. That's all I could say.
That's awesome.
It was nonstop happiness for the right. It's funny because the owner pulled me aside, because I'm all, I'm eddied up. I'm always wearing some striped shoes or whatever it may be. And, the owner comes up to me and goes, "How do I get Eddie Van Halen?" I'm like, "I don't know. That's your job." I know they've asked in the past and he's peacefully declined them. Because I asked him that question, did they ever go after him? And they've tried in the past. He was cordial about it and, just peacefully declined.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get him. They would love to get him. And in fact, I'll end it with this. You saw the Jerry video I put up at a Q&A, right?
Yeah.
About his Van Halen story. So it was kind of cool because, that was the organic part of it. That's where it hit home with me because, Nick Cantonese, he's a beast of a guitar player. When the Alice guys got there, he was like a kid in a candy store. He got to jam with them while they were sound checking before, they brought the campers in. He comes off the stage and comes up to me. He's like, "I just jammed with Jerry Cantrell." I'm like, "You're a star too, dude." It's like, It's just so fun how, it goes full circle. And then obviously Alice comes in, they go to their Q&A, and then, Jerry's moment in life, his musical moment, had to do with Eddie Van Halen.
That's cool.
The story was pretty cool. He told the story about, he's coming out to play the first show on the first, whatever it was, the first show they were doing. And he said Eddie and Ballard, little Wolfgang, was in his guitar pit, and they were noodling around, and he was asking them questions. And then when Jerry went up on stage to do the set, he noticed that Ed wasn't leaving, and he played the worst show of his life. So nervous, knowing that Eddie Van Halen was watching him.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty cool story nonetheless. So he went on record and said that Eddie's a very dear friend of his. He made no bones about that whatsoever. And the owner of Rock Camp, actually asked Jerry, like, if you really enjoyed it, I would love to get Ed if you wouldn't mind, putting in a word for us. And, I don't know what I don't know what Cantrell said. I'm sure he said no problem, but I don't know. That would be I'll be honest, I can't ever see Ed doing that.
I don't know how I would take it being Jerry Cantrell. I mean, you're there doing this service for them, and the guy says, "Hey, can you put in a good word with Eddie Van Halen?"
Yeah.
No,
that doesn't sit right with me if I'm Jerry Cantrell.
No, I mean, I don't think it came off in that manner.
Well, no matter how it comes off, it's still kind of like that's very not tactful.
That's not, good point. Absolutely. But he brought it up.
Yeah, I understand. I get that, but it's just like, dude.
Well, I mean, no, I mean that's. I mean, I've been to.
Look at you, Johnny. You got a dog body.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Howie. Hey. No. I mean, I know what you guys are kind of saying. I mean, there's, usually if you're talking to somebody and let's say you're talking to somebody and there's somebody, it's like Dave. You wouldn't want everybody coming up to you saying, "Hey, man, yeah, you're cool, but can you, what's Rob like?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he hears that all the time, though. He gets something.
You know. I mean, a lot. If you go and you meet, so and so, don't ask them about somebody else because they don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They want you to be there, excited to be there for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody, but it's just I've seen, a few times where that's gonna happen. But as far as Edward playing the rock camp, I mean of course, yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean
I
agree with you, Pete. I don't see it. I mean, it's never really. I mean, this is my opinion. My opinion. I think it would be the most amazing thing to have Eddie Van Halen on one of those camps. It doesn't seem to me his style. He's never rolled that way with that kind of stuff. Ed's always been a very personable guy. He's great with the press. He's nice to the fans. He's fantastic like that. But doing the camps and stuff like that, it's never. I believe it's never really been his bag of tricks. He's not really the sociable person to do that. I wouldn't think. But I'll tell you, I mean, if he ever did, it would be amazing. It'd be so cool.
Those tickets would be 10 grand too.
Yeah.
It's funny because, there were a lot of musicians that signed up for this. There was a lot of singers. They had an overabundance of guitar players. They had a shortage on bassists. And that's another thing. If a band, didn't have a bassist, a counselor would step in and play. So Tony Franklin played with his band. Chip played bass in his band that he was counseling, and they had plenty of drummers. So to your point, if Eddie did have a camp or decided to do that, I think you would get 8 guitarists. I don't think you would get that much of a mix.
Nobody would want to play guitar with him. Nobody. Yeah. It would be like bass players and drummers and singers that have always wanted to play Van Halen songs. They get their chance to jam with them, but I think most guitar players would be too scared to jam with the guy. But he's just a regular guy. But again, he is Eddie Van Halen.
He's Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. I mean, look at Rob. Look at Rob's background. Look at this. Come on.
I got all the guitars. I wish I could play like Eddie Van Halen. But it's funny. But even watch the old Garage Band thing with Paul Schaefer in '96, the Melissa Etheridge, the Garage Band thing they did on VH1 years ago.
City of Hope.
Yeah,
I remember that.
They had Richie Sambora was playing guitar with Ed, and it's you got Bryan Adams on stage, you got Richie Sambora, you got
Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, Sheryl Crow.
Paul Schaefer was the band leader.
Yeah, and you put Eddie Van Halen on there, and everybody's looking at Eddie because he's the man, and he's got his Cream Steinberg PV Wolfgang with a Steinberger Trans Trim on it, and he's doing all this crazy stuff with that. Then he's got the Ivory PV Wolfgang, the Standard, and he's just, and I mean Richie Sambora is playing with him, and they're both bouncing back and forth together, having a good time. But it's Eddie Van Halen on the stage, and you can't dispute that. There's nobody's, what are you going to do? Everybody's looking at him. Everybody wants to see Edward. They just want to see Ed and what he's doing, and it's cool. It's awesome. It's great. It's like a rock god being there.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day he'll do it. But he would have to be extremely humble for many hours. He would have to see many people, play for many hours. These guys were definitely tired.
Yeah.
By the end of the day.
I mean, look at you. I mean, you were talking about you. I mean, you were exhausted, carting around everything and on the go. I mean, it's got to be taxing on those guys as well,
Well, listen, those guys are coming in from one day and they're out.
Yeah.
But they're playing for a solid 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
A nonstop stream of different people coming up on stage, and you're playing over and over and over. Sometimes you're playing, the same song 5-6 times. before camp, they actually send out a list of, give you a guide. Like, here's a list of tunes that, we're willing to do. We'll be ready.
Yeah.
So, STP only came out with like 5 tunes, and Alice had like 9, so they had a little bit more of a choice. We were one of the only bands that did plush. So that was kind of cool. It was wild. It was just a big blur. I mean, just to take to go to LA and go to, see that scene. And there was one cool thing out of nowhere. Steven Adler showed up Friday night.
That's cool.
And he was running around taking pictures with everybody. He jumped behind the drum set for a little while and jammed out, and he was gone. It was just cool. I mean, everyone was like incredibly approachable, and it was just a fun environment of music. There's no other way to describe it. It was just it was pretty damn cool. Would I do it again? For the right artist, I would think about it. They're doing a camp next week with the Deep Purple guys. So the Deep Purple, but it's half the size of the camp I was just at. It's it didn't have that much draw like my camp. And then 2 weeks after that, they're gonna have the guitars from Korn and what's that guy's name? Chad Bennington from Linkin Park.
Yeah.
It's funny because that lineup, I'm saying to myself, how does that work? You don't just have people come out and play Linkin Park tunes. It's a band with 10 people in it.
Yeah.
Like how do you jam with fans? It's unless they plan on bringing a bunch of backing tracks or something. I have no idea.
Well, isn't that what it is anyway? Don't they have like a guy that mixes records on the stage? Isn't that what he does?
No, I mean, they have regular musicians, and they have a guy that's scratching records. They have another guy just working some weird audio crap. I mean, I'm not a big
Oh, man. Weird audio crap. Well, no, I mean, I think anybody who would sign up for a Linkin Park band camp, they would definitely be fans of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So they'd have no problem filling the slots of the 15 members of the band or whatever.
It all depends on who signs up for what. You'd have to get lucky. Maybe they got a keyboardist guy or a guy. You don't know. I would love to see how that shakes out, but that's not something I would sign up for. Literally, the only thing that would make me do this again is if Edward did it, or maybe Alex Lifeson or Geddy Lee or something like that. I'm a big Rush head, so if those guys ever did a camp, I probably would have to go out there and do that again. He does it. He does it in. He's been doing it in L.A. for a couple of years, but before that, they did it in Vegas for a while. They did it in the Bahamas. They did it out east over here, Mohegan in Connecticut once. So it's not. He moves it around.
Would you show up if I did a camp?
What's that?
I said, would you show up if I did a camp?
Someone just gave us a thumbs down after you said that. I suggest you keep your.
They won't be showing up for that camp.
No, I was asking.
Yeah. No, this actually sounds a lot like there was a VH1 reality show some years back where people showed up and they put together like a band and they jammed with people. This actually sounds huh?
I remember something like that.
Yeah, they did a couple different ones. They did a few of them actually. And it was like a month long. I remember watching it on MTV, or it was VH1. I remember.
It'd be VH1. One of them was with my friend Heather Williams. She's a guitarist. She was in a Van Halen tribute. She's great friends with Adam from FU Tone. She was one of the big supporters of his stuff, and she plays a Wolfgang guitar. I mean, the whole this actually goes back to the MySpace days, some years back, some of this, but that actually sounds a lot like what she was doing, like doing like a fantasy rock camp, putting the band together, learning songs. Yeah. So how often did they do these camps? What was that? Was that Dave?
It sounded like a cow mooing. No, it wasn't me. Someone's phone is doing their thing. Someone's getting texted on their phone is what it is.
No, that's cool.
Listen, I was prepared for the worst. I thought, that's a lot of different minds coming from different places, that are there to achieve different things. I really thought, like Rob said, that, people would be at each other's throats. No way, I'm going to play that song. Who are you? I paid too. Like
Man, this sounds vicious.
It is cool, though. You're right, Pete. I mean, I was gonna say it is cool. You're right, Pete. I mean, you gotta. I would imagine that these guys know that. I mean, these camps are loaded with a bunch of fans, so they want to be on their best behavior. They want to make it fun for the fans. They want to make it a good time. It's taxing for those guys as well. I know you said they're in for a day, then they're out, but they got to know at the end that this is a dream for some of these guys getting to go. For you guys, I mean, for us as fans, to go to these camps and. They definitely have to be like, hey, let's make these guys have a great time. Let's not bicker over stupid stuff. And, I mean, I would think that's how they're, what they're feeling.
No, I'm not talking about the headliners. I'm like, when they form bands, that's a lot of personalities that never met that are in the same room together.
Yep.
That have to figure out a set.
Sure.
Got to figure out what they're going to be playing out. They have to figure out what they were going to play with the artist. I mean, in fairness, the week before camp, I got an email of who my bandmates were.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally had all the email addresses. And we started some dialogue. I'm like, this is what, I'm thinking, that another guy would email back, I'm cool with that too. So, we kind of, cleared the air a little bit, got a general sense of what we thought we were.
Right.
So it wasn't bad. It was just picking different material that was independent of those bands that we were going to play live. Like case in point, the guy from Calgary, he's like, listen, I had this idea for original. I got lyrics. You want to try to put something together? And we actually played an original tune.
Yeah.
We wrote it right there on the spot. We played it out.
That's cool.
So it took us to put together a good old rock and roll tune. And we played it, an original. So it was pretty cool. It was cool. Again, life experience. I couldn't pick a better camp to go to. I love both those bands. I cover both those bands in my band, and that's the soundtrack of my 20s. It's I've seen them both live times a piece. Many times I've seen STP actually, and they were absolutely great guys. So
that's awesome.
It just thanks, because now I'm back to reality and I got to go to work every day.
That sucks.
But I appreciate you guys letting me come on and get this off my chest while it's fresh. And I actually bought this photo package where these photographer guys with some thick cameras, were getting some ridiculous shots while we were playing. So I won't get those for like another 4 to 6 weeks, but I should have some good pics coming. I'll share them with everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
You saw the video. The video came out great. I got good memories. I got them all to sign an 8x10. I got an 8x10 picture of each headliner. I brought a drum skin out. I had the headliner sign that, and I actually took that stuff to Michael's yesterday, and I got a nice custom frame being built to put that memory in. And, I actually got a signed guitar from every counselor and all the headliners. That'll come in a couple of days. So,
what guitar?
I spent some money, but I got a good memory.
What guitar did you get signed?
No, it's one of their guitars. I just bought it from them. It's it looks like like a Strat type guitar. It's got their logo baked into it.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just something I bought one of those. I bought this pretty cool it's an angled bracket. You know, you put this on the wall, and then you know you kind of put this up here, and I could put the guitar at an angle on the wall.
Oh, sweet.
Sure.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna hang it on my wall when I get it in.
Nice.
And you know, I mean, Dave's been in my basement. It's just gonna, you know, it's gonna shape. Yeah, actually, this is pretty cool. I had a STP oil can hat, and I got the DeLeo sign it.
Nice.
So I brought that there, and they signed the hat for me.
Now you can't wear it because if you wear it out in the sun, that's gonna come off. It'll fade away.
Yep, it's staying. It's not going outside. So, yeah, it's good memories, man. I got the nice shirt at the whiskey.
Nice.
Oh, you know, it's just a good memory. I knew it was going to be a good memory. It was a better time than I could ever imagine, and you know, I got some good memories. I'll, you know, 10 years from now, I'll be able to play that footage and smile, and you know, it was pretty damn cool.
When did you decide you were going to do this? Is it something you've been planning for a long time? Like the next one that comes up, I'm going to get on it, or like the last?
Really, you know, I think I saw some advertisement hit my, you know, like my news feed or something on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you know, I've seen them come up. You know, Hagar's done them. We know that Michael Anthony's done these camps.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley, the Judas Priest guys, Roger Daltrey has done it a couple of times. But you know, when I saw the advertisement, when I saw his Alice in Chains and STP, I just felt like that there were two bands I love, and I was getting like double my money's worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't. I had never had an intention to go do a camp like this, but when I saw those, you know, with the artists that were going, I could have passed it up.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been out west, and what better way to visit LA than to go play with rock stars?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
You know, I killed a bunch of birds with one stone, in my opinion. And it's funny because my wife, you know, she's not a rocker. You know, she's a big Michael Jackson head, Motown type of background.
Yeah.
And you know, I took her with me, and the add-on for my wife, they called it the groupie package. So she gets to tag along with me, and you know, this is a woman other than seeing me play that knows nothing about rock and roll.
Yeah.
And by the end of the camp, she was actually talking shop. Like I heard her talking to like one of the other groupies, like, "Oh yeah, that's Vinny Appice over there. He played for Dio and Black Sabbath." I just turned to her.
You're like, yes, yes.
What did you say?
That's cool.
Now you got to watch how many guitars you buy and all that stuff. Your wife's going to get hip to that, and she'll pull the chain on that pretty quickly.
Good point, man.
Yeah.
I remember those
She
days.
won't have to.
I remember those days being married, living at home, you know, like sneaking guitars into the basement, you know, my guitar pit, you know, and like, oh God, I gotta hide this one, gotta hide this behind this one. And of course now I don't have to do that anymore, but I don't have any money, so I can't get them anyway. So, you know, it is what it is.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome though, Pete, that she got to share that with you. I was never lucky enough to be with somebody that shared the same interests of mine, whether it be firearms or martial arts or guitars or Van Halen or whatever. I never was lucky enough to have that. And that's not a fault on them. It's just, you know, I just never had that. You know, it is nice to have your significant other, you know, whether they're into that thing or not, see that side of you, you know, something that you have a passion for, something that you obviously, you know, you're a musician, you're a Van Halen guy, you're a guitar guy, and have her tag along with you. That creates a bond and a connection between you guys. And it's probably was great, not only for your relationship, but also she got a chance to really see you have a great time. That's great. I thought that's cool to hear.
Yeah, it's funny because the good videos I put up, my wife takes. I have a killer HD camera that I got that real killer footage with.
Yeah.
And you can hear it because the condenser mic on that camera is so sensitive. So, like when we stop playing, you just hear it go, "Peach in his glory up there." Look at he's so happy, like she's narrating, but she's like talking to someone. She doesn't realize the mic's picking it up.
Yeah.
But it's funny you bring that up, Rob, because she's like, I knew I was gonna have fun, but I didn't think I was gonna have that much fun.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
Because I was worried about that. Like, is she gonna get bored? Like, I wanted her to see it and experience it and watch me play with these guys. But in the back of my mind, concern's not the word. It was more like, I hope she has a good time. I don't want to be thinking about it because I love her, and if she had a crappy time, it would bother me to a certain
Yeah, you want them to have fun. You want them to enjoy it. I mean, they're the special person in your life, and you don't want them just kind of bummed out. You want them to have a good time. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it was just funny hearing her talk a little bit of shop, and they give a nice pamphlet with the biography of all the artists that she was reading. So when she would see the face, she would remember the article, would actually ask a question. So she was a good little student. She did her homework. She learned a lot on the fly. Do I think she's going to be listening to Dio on the way to work? No, but but you never know. I mean, but
hey,
it was fun. It was an absolute blast, and I want to thank you guys for letting me come on and share the experience. It was well worth it. I'm thinking about it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Cool. So I'm sorry, I was gone the past 10 minutes. Had to tuck the chickens in and everything. So you had a great time though. You met a lot of people. You met people from all over the world, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, Chile. I actually have a funny Eruption story. Some guy who's from Germany, this guy Dominic, and again, we're on these little rehearsals. So he opens up the door to my rehearsal space. It was like 9:15 in the morning on Sunday, and he goes, "Word on the street is you play Eruption." And I'm like, "Yeah, I could, handle it. It's a decent version of it." But he goes, "Go ahead, play it." And I start playing it. He goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! I thought you were full of blank." Let me record. It was just funny that I said I could do it. He didn't believe me till I started playing it. He goes, "Whoa, whoa! I thought you would, just the way he did it." And the door to the studio was open, and I start ripping it. And next thing I know, a decent sized crowd is building. Listen, there was no one there that could even remotely touch the VH stuff like I was doing it.
Yeah.
And I played it, and the guy put it up on the site, and the owner of Bandcamp wasn't sharing anything of any other camper that they were posting stuff, but he shared my video.
That's awesome.
And he shared me doing the Eruption, and they actually in the summer. I'll let you guys know. They're doing a documentary about Bandcamp. They chose this camp to do it, and it's going to be on Netflix by the summer.
Sweet.
Who knows? Maybe my footage gets into the documentary. And they only interviewed 2 bands, and we were one of them, like about our experiences and stuff. And like our bass player, that was his 13th camp. Like, I didn't have a chance to ask him what makes you go to 13 of these camps. Like,
he probably wants to be picked up by an artist. That's a good way to try to get picked up.
Well, here it was at Camp 15, and no one hired him. He was a good bass player, played a Rickenbacker. He lived in Arizona. But for the documentaries, like, I've been to 13 of these, and this is by far the best band I played with.
Sweet.
So that was kind of, we had some good people. The guy from Sweden, he was a very quick learner, decent guitar player, played a Les Paul, a couple of Les Pauls. The blind drummer was hilarious because he made no bones about it. His nickname was Blind Bob. And he would have to get walked to the drum set, and a couple of times Vinny would hand him the sticks and face him towards the wall instead of the kit. and he's looking for the pedals and the toms, and they're not there. And we would all start
Oh
looking at
man,
him.
That's horrible.
It was horrible, but he was.
That's Vinny Appice.
He was such a good sport about it, and it's funny.
Brooklyn in the house.
he has to have a great sense of humor. That
Yeah.
drummer, you know.
Yeah, he was, and Vinny put him up all over his page. I mean,
That's awesome.
you gotta
That's great.
defend the guy, you know, to get behind. So this guy's got an interesting life. He checked out of the Hilton in Universal City, got some small little motel that he's staying in for 2 weeks, and he's going right back for the Deep Purple camp. So he just did the Alice camp. Now he's doing
The drummer.
right, the drummer that was just there, and I think there was an open mic. They have what do they call that? Is it open mic where anyone could go up and play?
Yeah.
Open mic at the Whiskey on Tuesday night. And he went back there and played drums again, and the Whiskey show was a little bit of a disappointment because not only is the guy blind, they didn't turn on his monitors. So he had no idea where we were. So we came out of the gate at the Whiskey pretty bad. You know, we recovered well, but you know, they really didn't. We were like I believe the fourth or fifth band to go on at the Whiskey, and they really didn't figure out how everyone can hear themselves to like the eighth band in.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, you know, I was having a problem with myself on stage. I had nothing coming out of a monitor. I couldn't hear my bass player. But Lucky Strike, that was a cool stage. I mean, everyone was mic'd. The balance was well on stage. The sound system was brutal in that place. That place had a nice sound system in it. It was definitely better. It was definitely better than the Whiskey. Lucky Strike had.
Lucky Strike, they have like jams and great shows like every night, every other night. You know, I have a lot of friends that live in the LA area, and I'm always seeing, they're always like, I'm headed to the Lucky Strike, and this would be on like a weeknight, you know, to see so and so. You know,
both bars were packed. I mean, people came out to see this. I mean, listen, you got to remember that the 15. And again, I hate to call them B-rated guys. I don't know what other way to classify them, but you know, the rock star counselors were all at these venues. You know what I mean? So there was a little bit of an allure and a draw, you know, for people to come out and see. You know, these guys are just roaming around. Rudy Sarzo, that guy's a cool cat. You know, he had some really cool stories about the Ozzy days and playing with Randy. Vinny, I don't know if you guys know this. This is a pretty creepy piece of history. When Vinny was 16 years old, he was the last person to play with John Lennon before he got killed.
Wow.
So he was 16 to 17. He was playing some session stuff. He was still in high school, and he was asked to go down and play with a Beatle. He didn't know who it was going to be, and it was John Lennon. He played with John Lennon in his last live performance before he got shot and killed in Manhattan.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty wild. I mean, that's been going back a long way. What was that, 1980? So he was 7 old in 1980. So, you know, he's been around. Let me tell you something. That guy is in the pocket. Like, they do master classes too during this whole thing. So you could go, you know, at 3 o'clock, you could go into a room and take a vocal lesson from Josh Todd or Buck Cherry. Or you could go into the drum room with Vinny, and he has an hour master class, and he'll teach you how to do triplets on the bass drum, and you know, teach you a sense of time. And got down with Kenny Olson, and one of his classes was, you know, you don't have to 1,000 notes to sound good. Like, that was his class. So, you know, I didn't do any of the master classes because I really didn't go there to get that kind of knowledge. You know, I've been playing guitar for 34 years. I am where I am. I'm not, you know, I don't take any talent to another level. If I want to go to another level, I'll just take it there. But it's I actually sat in for some of Vinny's just so I could see him break down, you know, certain drum parts. But God, I mean, that's a guy just that knows how to play, just understands time, understands a click track. You know, he actually told, you know, he said it to me. I'll say it live here. He goes, Pete, He goes, if you write a song and you want to send it to me, I'll lay a drum track on it for you. So if I write something, Vinny offered to lay drums on it and send it back to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. He was a
That's
very
awesome.
he was a very available guy out of all of them. He's always looking for ways to make the camp, more interesting, more diverse. He does a ton of drum clinics all over the country. He really likes to give back and, see people play music. You can't fake that. I could see when we were playing that, his love for helping people and, seeing things come together. That's the juice for him. He really, out of all of them, I think he's the most passionate, probably him. And Tony Franklin always does the camp. So him, Vinny Appice and Tony Franklin usually do, if they're available, there'll be a counselor at those camps. They're in a bunch of them. And he was really, he was a funny little dude, Tony Franklin, just watching him play that fretless. And, he's just an animal. Great bass player. I made him play the bass line to Radioactive too when I was there off the Firm album. It was pretty wild seeing Tony do that.
That's cool.
But
That's cool.
no, again, I don't mean to keep hitting the points. I could talk about it for hours, different things that happen at different times. But
Oh yeah. I bet, man. You've got so many many memories of, and this just happened too. This was just a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Nick Cantonese, my White Wolf. I put a video up of that too, and he was playing VH tunes on my Wolf. That guy is, if you ever listen to any Black Label Society stuff live, his nickname was the Evil Twin, because on a lot of Zach's stuff live, Nick Cantonese would play the solos that Zach was playing simultaneously, note for note. And we're talking about 50-note runs in 3 seconds. And, following each other. So he got the nickname over the years as the Evil Twin. You had Zach, and then you had the Evil Twin. So, to hand him my Ivory Wolf and see him start, cutting up my guitar. If you go on my page, guys, you'll see it. I put up a video of Nick Anthony's playing. He has a big goatee that has berets in it and stuff. And, he's playing it. I cut the video too short because he just looks at my guitar and goes, oh man, this thing is, and then it just cuts off. But Dave, he liked your setup, bud. he liked the feel of the guitar.
Awesome.
And Dean loved the feel of the Blonde. They're beautiful guitars. And
they're not hard to set up. They're pretty good to go to begin with.
Well, you put you know how to set them up, Dave. Stop. You're being too humble. They're not that good out of the gate. They need work. So, and that's my story. It was good stuff. I'm going to be buzzing about it for a long time. It was a good little life memory, with music. That's all.
That's awesome.
And now I just need my rig back. Wait till you see the upgrades I get done to the big rig. It's going to be borderline ridiculous if I get it back. I have a lot of work going into it. A lot of custom interface stuff. It's going to be beyond clean sounding when I get it back. I got a guy that does really good work, good interface work, a lot of custom stuff. Back. I should have it back probably by the end of March. And next time you come out, Rob, when you're going to have some time, my basement, we have a full-blown jam down here.
I want to come out in a couple of weeks if I can. I'm going to give it a shot.
Everything I have in my basement is officially going through a board. I bought 4 E609 mics, so I have every cabinet mic. I got 2 guitar rigs, the big wet dry rig, and then the half stack. I actually bought this purple unit. It's because I only have 8 inputs on my board, so I have 4 vocals that go through it. I have the V drums that go through it. My bass player comes out of it. he has a direct input in the back of his head that I bring him right through the PA.
Yeah.
The last time we played, it sounded warm, but we had everything. We had everything but the guitars going through the PA. So I mic'd everything up. I tested because I only have the small rig at this point. But wow, what a sound I got coming through the PA speakers. And I bought this unit. It's basically, you could put 3 mics into it. You can level the inputs, and then there's 1 mic out to 1 input of the board. So on the wet rig, I can have my own independent adjustments right from the unit, and then I just naturally bring it up on 1 input on the board. So once I do that, when I play down here, it's gonna be quiet and warm. You won't be blowing yourself out, and everyone will sound great.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely when our little friend from the west and north comes out and visit us in the late spring, we definitely got to come here and have a brew all day. And I want you to bring the Steinberger. I want to hear what that sounds like through the big rig.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll bring it out. You can play it, mess around with it. You have a good time with it. It's a lot of fun. Now, do you have?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have that soundproofed? I mean, what's it sound like upstairs? Like when your wife's upstairs, and you guys are jamming. Is it like totally loud or?
No, I mean, again, my drum. He would love to play his acoustic kit, but I have a Roland TD-25K kit, and we actually took a good couple of hours, and we dialed in a really good acoustic kit. Cymbals to hi-hat, to kick, to snare, to toms. And then you could program it. So you just take a flash drive, you put it into the brain, and I could save that kit.
Nice.
So, I have it's very realistic sounding. And so, anytime you could put a drummer on a volume knob, I mean, when we would practice down here and he bought his acoustic set, forget about it. Every picture in the house, would be tilted.
Yeah.
But she could sit up in the living room. It's a little loud when I close the door in my basement, but she could sit in the living room, not bother her, make the TV a little bit louder. And, since I'm not playing an acoustic set down here, it's awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
So, but I'm still a little loud because, everyone's nice and mixed through the PA. And then I'm kind of middle. So for the bass player to hear me, the drummer to hear me, I got to bring up the volume a little bit. So if you walk past me, there was no right place to stand.
Right.
So, I could back off the stealth head now, mix everything through the board nice. I got about 3 monitor wedges down here, and I got 2 big PA speakers. And, again, I just set up the mics before I went to camp. So last night was the first time I, fired up, make some adjustments on the board. And oh my God, it's so warm.
Oh, I can't wait to check that out.
But I haven't heard the big rig through it yet, because I have some work getting done to it. But if my small rig sounded like that, my big rig is just going to sound, almost.
I'm dying to hear your wet, dry, wet setup. I really want to check that out. I bet that's cool as hell.
Yeah, I mean, Dave could vouch for it. He's heard it down here, and with the 412s, cabinets. When we did EVHGEAR, we played through the wet cabinets were 212s, and then we had a 412 in the middle.
Yeah.
It still sounded good, but it just wasn't as ambient, as having 3, 412s.
Right.
And it, we actually took the 212s, and instead of leaving them on the wheels, we tilted them up. So it was more vertical.
Yeah.
I mean, it still sounded good, right, Dave? It didn't sound bad at the music store.
Yeah, it was good.
When we stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, we had a decent Marshall cab. I mean, listen, it sounds the best through the EVH 412s. I mean, that's how this rig is supposed to sound. And yeah, I mean, I love it. I'll never gig with it. You know, I don't see myself playing any outdoor festivals that would merit me dragging out, 700 pounds of EVH gear.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Right. You never know.
Yeah, but if you were offered a gig at some festival, you would drag that stuff out, wouldn't you?
I would drag it out in a heartbeat.
You'd hire Rob and Dave to come and carry the stuff for you, wouldn't you?
Couldn't
Yeah.
pay me enough to do it. You couldn't pay me enough to carry someone else's gear.
That's funny.
Sorry.
Ah,
like,
I'll set guitars up for someone else, but I'm not carrying anyone else's gear.
yeah, hold on. I'll show you these clamps. Hold on a second. I thought these are pretty cool. You ever see, I don't know, you see that amp clamp? Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
So you basically, you drill in this little plate and these just slip in and out. And it goes right flush up against the mesh.
I see.
You don't have a little
Hold your phone down a little bit. Tilt it down a little.
better.
A little bit more.
Now talk.
Stop.
There it is. It's on the floor. Yeah.
No, there's no.
Move your thumb.
That clamp. Ah, my thumb's in the way. Gotcha. Better.
Now bring the phone down. Good. No. Yes. That's it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Here, let's present.
So that's pretty cool. It's you don't have
Sort of. We're like right in between.
Yeah. Forget it.
Kind of, sort of.
You're not looking at anything except the cabinet.
There. Right there.
Stop it.
Right there. Right there.
That's it.
Look at
I
that.
see it now.
That's cool.
It's a little screws right into the cabinet, and it slips in and out. It's got a little, easy breakdown, and you don't have, it's not taking up, you don't have a gawky friggin' mic stand on the floor.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good setup.
Do you record?
Clamps,
Do you record with those down there?
well, that's gonna be the next. I mean, I'll literally have everybody. I'll have everybody through the board. So, when I do that, I got to record out. I can record out into a device right from my board. So yeah, that's definitely coming down the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to do really nice live recordings. And
That's cool.
and these EX609 mics, they are wildly good. To be honest with you, I think they blow away the SM57s, those Shure mics. I mean, it doesn't pick up anything but the speaker.
Well, yeah, because it's unidirectional. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks like it's
I like
bigger.
them.
It looks like is it like a square?
Hang on, I have one right here.
It looks like it's bigger than like a 57. Which is
No,
just like a
it's not
circle.
small. It's small. It's smaller. The whole microphone itself is small. It's only it's a little bud, and then the cable going into it.
That's it.
Yeah,
This is it right here.
Mm-hmm. And that's the front.
That's the front. And that's the back. And that's the hole. It's the size of your hand.
But that whole square part is all a mic, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Whereas on a 57 or 58, you just have like a circle.
Yeah.
right.
So there's more mic there to pick up more of the sound.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's for this is for mic and cabinets only. Really, you can't sing through this. It's for mic and cabinets.
What makes it interesting, Johnny, is for the guys who like to just lay the mic over the top of the amp, that flat face, it just, you got certain guys that don't even clamp it. They just,
It's
they have
right
the
there.
parts on the
Mhm.
ramp.
Mhm.
That's what came up with this mic. And then where I found those brackets, they're called Amp Clamp USA. And the only place I found them was some guy gets them on Reverb.
Hang on a second, Pete. Take a breather for a second. 5150 Fly Guy. The mic is called a Sennheiser E609. Now you can talk.
Yeah. No, I've been calling them E609s, weren't I?
Yeah, you are, but he's asking what they are because he didn't hear it.
Look at these two New York guys talking to each other. Look at this. They
That's
just
all the
yell
time we have. We don't have enough time to talk about anything else.
yell
Come
at
on.
each other.
Quiet, Pete. Now you can talk. Yeah.
Right.
I'm talking here.
I'm talking here.
Dave, we're getting made fun of right now by a New Englander.
Yeah, I know.
Go get some
In a West Coaster. In a West Coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least he has, he has an excuse. He's from the West Coast.
Uh-huh.
Ouch. Oh, that was a slam. Johnny, that was rough.
Yeah. And well, if it wasn't for the rain, I wouldn't complain about the weather at all. But
Manhattan is a hotbed for weirdos. Don't misinterpret anything I'm going to say, but Hollywood was just flat out strange.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Well, yeah, it's strange, but it's not strange if you're there. It's to the tourists that it's strange. To
It's not any more strange. It's not any more strange than Bleecker Street.
No.
It doesn't get much more strange than that.
There's some fun, interesting people walking around, Hollywood Boulevard. It was,
Oh yeah.
again, I've never been out there. I didn't know what to expect, and I definitely saw things that I never thought I would see.
Yeah, when I was out there a couple of years ago, walking, down Sunset Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard, and it just, taking in all the sights and everything, I was just like, wow, this is pretty. You're right. I mean, it's strange when you're not from that area. I mean, you go to New York City, you see your sense, you see that a little bit too. San Francisco, going down to Fisherman's Wharf and everything, you see some of that. But yeah, Hollywood was definitely, it's like Johnny said, I guess if you're from that area and you're exposed to it all the time, it's normal. But when you're not, it's cool. It's fun. It's a good time. It's like going to the circus,
Yeah, I had a blast. People watching, and I didn't know what to expect. I never knew what the Sunset Strip was like, and all that nostalgia, all that history. It was pretty cool. The Guitar Center. I never made it to see that other EVH guitar, Johnny. Where was it? In
Hard Rock Cafe, Neptune.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I did.
Hollywood and Highland. The Highland. Yeah, that's what I was saying to you because you had posted on Facebook that you were about to leave, and that's when I said, "Hey, did you make it over to that Hard Rock?" Because I know that you saw that huge Frankenstein over in Universal City. I know you saw that, and if you went inside to that Hard Rock, you would have seen a signed Frankenstein Fender replica. You would have seen Mike's Rickenbacker from the Panama video was in there.
It's funny because
did you even go in?
No, I did that early in the morning. They weren't open yet.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I went to see the big Frankenstein, and then I went down to Sunset. The Guitar Center on Sunset.
Yeah.
And there, you had the the old striped 5150 stack. You had the amber 5150. His pedal board from I want to say that the pedal board was from the 04 tour.
It was.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of cool stuff in that window.
I like how they have the I don't know if it's in the window, maybe it is, or it's inside one of the prototype Wolfgangs that Edward played on the was it 07? When was that tour? First tour with Roth? 07?
Yes, 07.
That's all in the front window display.
No, even the prototype Wolfgang. The prototype was? I don't think so. What color is it?
I think it is. I think it is in the front.
What color is it? Is it white?
No, it's a natural Wolfgang with a number on the front of it.
Really? I didn't see that. You didn't take a photo of that, did you, Pete?
Yeah, I did.
With a photo and with a number on it?
Yeah, it's one of the prototypes that he was testing when they were on tour, and there's a big number on the very front of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I remember. There was somebody that was down there, and they were messaging me. They're like, Johnny, I'm here at the Hollywood Guitar Center, you know. And I'm like, hey, can you please take a picture of this guitar for me? I'd like a good photo of this guitar. And they went and they actually photoed a different guitar, thinking that was the one I wanted the photo of, and I was like, ugh. But
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think it's the same guitar Pete photoed either, because I saw the photos that Pete took, and I didn't see any Wolfgangs with numbers on the front of it.
yeah, there's a natural Wolfgang there.
I understand it.
EVH Wolfgang with a number. It's like a 5 or an 8 or something. Like over the
Yeah, like the number 4 guitar that he used on that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying that I don't think Pete took a photo of that guitar.
I don't know.
I'll have to look.
Yeah. Also, that display, it's always changing too. It's always a little different.
I did find it a little odd that Sam Ash and Guitar Center was right next to each other.
It's the same way here in New York. You know, it's the same way that it was. I mean, 48th Street was Sam Ash and Manny's right across the street from each other. That's just the way they do it.
It's still dumb. No, let's put 2 pizza places right next to each other.
Isn't it like that in New York? Isn't there a pizza place on every corner?
Almost.
Across the street from each other as well?
They try to spread it out a little bit. I mean, but you know, you walk any given block.
What, the sauce?
Every 20 feet, you can get a hot dog. Yeah, Manhattan is a whole different ballgame. You ever been out this way, Johnny? You ever been to Manhattan?
Yeah, one time. I was there one time in 1994. I came out, and I had a sister that lived out there at the time, and had a great time. Walked everywhere. I was actually, I've told this story. I was actually on Late Show with David Letterman when I was out there. I mean, I wasn't actually in the theater, but I was outside. He did a bit where they called a payphone right outside.
All right.
And you can see me standing there. My sister and I are standing there, and this girl that ended up walking up out of nowhere, he ended up inviting her in, and she like co-hosted the show with him the rest of that night. It's actually, this is actually on YouTube. Just look up on my channel here. Look up what would have been called. Look up, type in the words on this channel, New York 1994, and you'll come across the footage when it was on TV. It was cool. It was cool. But yeah, I remember walking all around, walking everywhere. That's when I got to see the guitar that Edward donated to that Hard Rock back in 1985. Right, that was still there at the time. Yeah, it was awesome. Had a great time. Great time in New York.
If I'm not mistaken, the Hard Rock in Times Square, don't they have the suits from the Hot for Teacher video?
Yeah, I think they have Michael Anthony's suit.
They have Michael. I thought they had all 4 at one point. They might have.
Oh, I don't know. The last I saw was Mike Anthony's suit. There might have been more, but it might have just been a photo of Mike's suit.
I think it was just a photo because I was there back in September, and that's what I saw. I looked all over the place when I was there.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I know that they have one of Eddie's Wolfgangs are in that store now, in that shop now. But I don't remember which one. I think it's a black one. It might be a black autographed Wolfgang or something.
Is it the one? Is it one that actually has the Statue of Liberty on the front? No. The graphic? Where's that one?
I don't know. I didn't know that there was one.
Yeah. There's a Statue of Liberty graphic Wolfgang somewhere. Yes.
Cool. Well, hey, that's all we have time for tonight. I want to thank everyone.
Huh?
Nothing.
Hey, how's the chat room doing? How are you guys? I saw you were kicking people out of here, Dave. What's going on?
I kicked one guy out, and I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there was fights breaking out in the chat room. Yeah. thank everybody for watching this stuff. So what? Are you guys good? Actually, we probably should roll pretty quick. It is after 7 o'clock here. After 10 o'clock where you guys are. Yeah. Well, hey Pete, thanks for the story, man. That's all. I mean, you got the ultimate rock and roll fantasy right there, dude.
Well, listen, thanks for letting me share it. It was fun. It was definitely. I'm still smiling, still buzzing, and it's good. Nice little memory in the brain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Very
it. Now I
cool.
gotta start working
Yeah,
on it.
thanks for coming aboard.
No, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.
Man. New York guys. Yes.
Are
What's
you
going
grumpy?
What?
You grumpy?
No,
What's the
no, I'm
matter?
fine.
on?
I'm fine.
Man.
And we'll talk about Wolfgang Wednesday next Friday.
Man. Okay. All right. I think we're out of here. Thank you, everybody, for watching this stuff. Pete, dude, thank you for jumping in here with us, telling your stories about your rock and roll fantasy camp adventures. That is very, very cool. Congratulations on getting to jam with all those people, and I'm glad you had a great time, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's very, very cool, man. Yes. Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the stuff. Rob, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Dave. Everybody. Yeah, leave a. Oh wait, we're still on. You can't make a phone call. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. No, I don't think Pete has a rotary phone anymore. 5. With
You have a rotary iPhone. You got the rotary iPhone 6. You can get those. You can actually get like a rotary attachment and hook it up to your. You can hook it up to your phone, and you can actually carry it around and talk on it. Did you know that?
No,
I've seen
crazy.
I've seen people carrying them around. Yeah, that's the cool new thing. Yeah. Anyway, everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Leave a thumbs up on your way out if you dig this stuff, and subscribe to the channel if you dig this stuff. It's a lot of fun talking about this stuff, rock and roll guitars, EVH guitars especially.
Absolutely.
So Pris 46, good night. Good night, Lickmax. Good night, Black Belt Yellow Belly, Charlie S, Sean Mahoney, John, Dutchy, everybody. All right, we're out of here. This is Johnny Bean, johnnybean.com. See you guys Friday. Yes, and then I've got a gig on Sunday, so I might be streaming from that, maybe. So we'll see. All right. Oh, and Steve, I got 9 eggs today.
Nice.
From the chickens outside.
Nice.
Yes, there's a photo on my Instagram. It's just Johnny Bean.
A lot of people in the chat room. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed everything. It seems like a few people like the story, so thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, it was great, Pete. Really cool.
Very cool. Awesome. All right.
Good. I'll see
Goodbye,
you guys
everybody.
soon.
Yeah, don't hang up. All right. Bye.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good night, boy.
Later.